What's going on YouTube? Bandit here, back again with another Diablo 3 video. Today we're going to be talking about a Demon Hunter build that's going to use the Marauder set, the Helltrapper one-handed crossbow, the Meticulous Bolts quiver, and the main skill that we'll be focusing on is the Ball Lightning Elemental Arrow skill. And my goal for this video is to thoroughly discuss everything, but to make it as simple as possible and make the video a little quicker than the previous ones. And if you stick around too, I'll show you some gameplay in action. So without further ado, I guess let's get right into the skills that we'll be using. I'll go through them once, and then we'll roll back around, and we'll discuss why they're important to this build. So we're using Elemental Arrow with Ball Lightning, Marked for Death with Mortal Enemy, Smoke Screen with Lingering Fog, Preparation with Punishment, Sentry with Polar Station, and Companion with Wolf Companion. And for our passives, we're going with Custom Engineering, Cold the Weak, Night Stalker, and Awareness. And it's important that we still use our Marauder set. We're still going to need all the pieces of those, so our Sentry will cast our Hatred Spenders. If you've watched my previous build video, you know that I had quite a few Hatred Spenders. But for this one, we're just going to focus on the Ball Lightning. For the previous build, each Hatred Spender would rotate through the casting of the Sentry. So you'd get each one at a time, whereas opposed to you've got one Hatred Spender in there with the Ball Lightning, it's going to be one constant stream of lightning shooting from the Sentry. And with the Meticulous Bolts here, this is important because it is going to roll with the ability to slow down the travel speed of the Ball Lightning anywhere from 30 to 40%. You see here mine is slowed by 37%. And what that's going to do is we'll see here that the Ball Lightning, it shoots a ball of lightning and it's going to electrocute enemies along its path for 300% weapon damage as lightning. But while it's slowed down, it's going to take longer for the Ball Lightning to travel across the enemy, and it's going to hit more while it's traveling across, therefore giving you more hits with the 300% weapon damage. So you can see just from that, this is the important combo that you want to have, because this is what's going to be doing the damage and allowing you to take out the enemies, even the elites, super quick. And you know, that's the goal of the game, more damage, and this is definitely where it's at between these two right here. Well, let's go ahead and talk about our crossbow here that we're using. It's a one-handed crossbow, the Helltrapper. You can farm this up in an Act 5 bounty cache. And it's going to give you anywhere from a 7 to 10% chance on hit to summon a Spike Trap, Caltrop, or Sentry. And that's important because we aren't using the Bombardier's Rucksack, and it's going to give us a chance to spawn a couple more sentries, to cast the Ball Lightning as well, and to do more damage. So you're definitely going to want to farm this up, be on the lookout. It's also important to know that for that 10% chance to count, you have to manually cast Ball Lightning yourself. Any damage or hits that your sentries are giving you is not going to count. So you're definitely going to make sure that you keep the Helltrapper going, keep that Ball Lightning going, because you want as many sentries and caltrops and other things as you can get. But since we're going to be casting that a lot, we're definitely going to be running out of hatred quite a bit. So I've got a few passives here that we'll talk about that are going to generate some hatred for us. The first one I guess we'll talk about is Marked for Death with the Mortal Enemy rune. Mortal Enemy, the attacks against the marked enemy are going to generate 4 hatred for you. So I usually just throw this up on the closest enemy, the one that's going to be the easiest to hit, and just let it go on him, and it's going to generate a little bit of hatred for us. With the second one here, we're going to be using Preparation with Punishment. And this is going to have a 20-second cooldown, and it's going to restore 75 hatred for you. And if you've got a decent amount of cooldown, it's going to cut that time even shorter. So it wouldn't hurt to have a little bit of cooldown just to make it a little less than 20 seconds. But you're going to cast that every little bit to keep your hatred up. And lastly, thanks to the 4-piece bonus that we get from our Marauder set, giving us access to all of our companions, we're going to talk about the Bat Companion specifically. You're going to instantly gain 50 hatred every time you cast it. It's going to summon a bat that's going to attack enemies for 100% of your weapon damage as physical, and the bat's going to give you 1 hatred per second. So between those 3 skills, these are definitely going to be beneficial to you. You can keep those rotating pretty regularly. You know, the Ball Lightning doesn't take too much hatred, but you're definitely going to run out, and you're definitely going to want to keep these active as much as you can to keep the Ball Lightning going as often as you can. Let's talk about Smoke Screen here with the Lingering Fog rune. It's going to allow you to vanish behind a wall of smoke, becoming momentarily invisible for 1 second. The Lingering Fog rune simply allows you it increases the duration to 1.5 seconds. So this is good to use while you're in battle, especially for the stuff you can see coming. Incoming enemy fire, anything that's going to blow up on you. Melee enemies attacking. You just pop this, and it's going to allow you to take no damage for 1.5 seconds. And you're going to want to keep this active as often as you can. So to combat our discipline loss, we're going to use the Night Stalker passive here. Critical hits have a chance to restore 1 discipline. And that's important to remember for that too, that's only going to restore for you if you're manually casting your Helltrapper as well. So just all the more reason to keep your Ball Lightning going to restore that. Now we'll cover the rest of our passives here. Custom Engineering, it's going to increase the duration of our sentries by 100%, and it's going to increase the maximum number of sentries to 3 from 2. And it's definitely a must-have. We're going to want as many sentries down as we can have, and it allows you to keep them active a little longer as well, so you can't go wrong there. Cull of the Weak, increase damage against slowed or chilled enemies by 20%. Any enemies that are being slowed down by our sentry, the Polar Station, they're going to be taking 20% more damage. So all the more reason to get some more sentries out with that Polar Station around them, so for some more damage. And of course, we're going with Awareness. There's no reason why you shouldn't use this. It's going to give you an extra life anytime you take fatal damage. So you're definitely going to want to run with this. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the rest of the gear we're using. You can see here I've got the Ring of Royal Grandeur with a Bane of the Trap gem. Running a Compass Rose with an Enforcer gem so I can get that damage increase for my sentries. I'm using that Compass Rose in conjunction with the Traveler's Pledge for that 250 extra vitality, as well as the crit hit damage increase by 50%. Running the Marauders in my shoulders, I've got an increase in sentry damage by 13%. In my boots, I've got an increase in my elemental arrow damage by 11%. So anytime that you can roll some increased damage for the skills you're using, definitely want to take advantage of that. I've got a Witching Hour here, giving me an increased attack speed by 7%. Got some Steady Strikers. These are giving me a lightning damage increase of 20%. The Tasker and Theos are going to increase the attack speed of my sentries by 41% there. So I definitely want to be on the lookout for those. Those aren't a necessity, but they definitely will benefit your sentries if you have them. And I guess that's it as far as the gear goes. Already talked about the Helltrapper and the Meticulous Bolt, so we'll go ahead and get into the Paragon last. So you're going to want to max out your movement speed. You're going to want to keep in mind, though, that the Ferret Companion that you've got active from your Marauder set is going to give you a 10% increased movement speed already. So keep that in mind when you're adjusting your movement speed. I maxed out my Hatred next, and then I split the rest of what I had left in here in between Dexterity and Vitality. For offense, I'm running crit hit damage first. I did cooldown reduction next, and then now I'm working on my attack speed. For as far as defense goes, resist all first, armor next, and then life, and then you can worry about life regeneration last. And as far as utility goes, we're going to start off with life on hit, resource cost reduction, and area damage. Gold find, never ever really need to worry about unless you just have that many points. Alright guys, that's a wrap for this build. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something that you didn't know before. If you did enjoy the video, please feel free to hit that like button down below. Also, if you have any other suggestions for builds that you've been having fun with, or if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comments as well. I'm very active down in the comments, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. Also, I'll go ahead and link 2 other alternate builds you could use for the Demon Hunter as well. One from myself, one from J-How. Be sure to check out J-How's channel as well. He's got a lot of great information for builds on his channel. But stick around, I'll show you some gameplay of this build in action. Until next time, y'all stay beastin'. Peace out.